The population of Al-Hol camp has ballooned by 11,000 in the last 2 months. A veiled woman looks back at Al-Hol camp in Hasakeh governorate in northeastern Syria. AFP. The Red Cross United Nations observer says the weak and fragile services at the Al-Hol camp in northeastern Syria are on the brink of collapse because of a flood of civilians and some ISIS militants who have left the extremist group's last besieged enclave in Syria. Robert Mardini of the International Committee for the Red Cross said in New York on Monday that the population in the camp has risen from 34,000 at the beginning of December to 45,000 now. He said several thousand, mainly women and children, arrive daily and there is no end in sight. Mr. Mardini says those coming out of the ISIS pocket are sick, injured, tired, afraid, and the situation at the camp is overwhelming. He also says the International Red Cross is ready to help with any repatriations of ISIS fighters and their families, provided agreements are negotiated with their home countries. Mr. Mardini called this one of the most complex issues, not only from a humanitarian sense but also from whether countries want their nationals to return or not. In a statement released on Friday, the United Nations cited reports that more than 84 people, 2/3 of them young children under 5 years of age, have died since December on their way to Al-Hol camp after fleeing the extremist group in Syria's Deir ez-Zor province. Many of the arrivals are exhausted, hungry and sick, according to Jens Lerche, spokesman of the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, at a news briefing in Geneva. Late on Monday, Syrian Democratic Forces (SDF) spokesperson Mustafa Balu tweeted that around 3,000 people, including militants, had evacuated the last area through a humanitarian corridor set up for anyone who wished to surrender. It's unclear how many ISIS militants and civilians remain inside, but the number is likely in the hundreds. The mass evacuation of ISIS fighters and their families comes as the US-backed Kurdish Arab force waging the ground offensive near liberating ISIS's final enclave of Baghouz. The pocket has been reduced to a 700-meter square area hosting a collection of tents and hamlets. The capture of the last enclave still held by ISIS fighters would mark the end of a devastating 4-year global campaign to end the extremist group's hold on territory in Syria and Iraq, their so-called caliphate, that at the height of the group's power in 2014 controlled nearly a third of both Iraq and Syria. It would allow U.S. President Donald Trump to begin withdrawing the estimated 2,000 U.S. troops from Syria, as he declared in December he would do. Updated, March 5, 2019, 1:46 p.m.